Hola Comadres! Welcome to the second episode of Comadreando. I'm your host, Marcy. Today we're going to be discussing a topic that's pretty important, and that is traveling with a child with special needs. Over the summer, I went on vacation with my son, and we went to a couple of different places. A lot of the moms, after I posted photos and videos of children with special needs, they were asking me, how do I do it? What are the logistics? How do I make him comfortable? Basically all about that. So I feel like it's a very important topic. It's not really discussed, and it's important to bring it up now, to get you guys ready for winter break and midwinter recess and all those other things that are coming up. So I don't know if you guys know this about me. I'm very organized. So I'm basically going to break the topic up into 3 categories. And the categories are what you do before, during, and after you arrive. These tips are made to make your life easier and your child's life easier as well. So let's get started. So before you travel, when you have that idea, you're like, I might want to go with my child this vacation. I suggest having open communication and really talking to them and, involving them. Not necessarily on picking the destination. I mean, even though you can, depending on the age, but just letting them know, hey, we might go on vacation such and such date, and just keeping them abreast of everything that's going on. Like from the moment you buy the tickets, things that they would like to do, like if there's activities in particular that they can choose from, that would be dope to have them involved in that. It builds a sense of independence, and they're going to feel like they're part of the planning. So it's not a surprise when you guys arrive to the place. It's besides telling them in advance, it's good to give them reminders. With my little one, he perseverates on things, so I have to pick and choose my battles on what I tell him we're doing, because he will be the one to ask me every day until we get to the place. So where are we going in June, Mom? And I'll have to respond to him. It's not that he doesn't know. It's just in his mind, he is acclimating and getting used to the idea that he won't be home and that he will be, either taking an airplane or a train or a bus somewhere or a car ride, a really long car ride. So because our children are more sensitive to those type of things, you know your child, so it's really based on preference. Sometimes it helps to have a visual countdown. So if you have a calendar that you can buy or something you can print where you're like crossing off the days, like, okay, one day less, this many more days until we arrive at such and such place. That would be really cool. I don't know about you, but as an adult, I don't like to have things dropped into my lap last minute, which is why I advise on communicating with your child. Second tip. I would suggest taking foods that are preferred for your child. For example, a lot of our children have food aversions. It's important to bring things that they can eat, especially if it's going to be an airplane ride that's pretty long. What I can tell you is that you can pack any kind of solid food in your bag, like your carry-on, not your carry-on, I would say like the personal item, or if you're packing them a backpack, you can pack whatever food it is inside their bag. You can scan it. TSA will not remove it unless it's a liquid, obviously. That's more than 4 ounces. But definitely pack them whatever they like to eat, be that a sandwich or pizza or rice and chicken like Aiden. Whatever they like to eat, pack it up. Back in the day, I don't know, I'm probably dating myself right now, but when I was a kid, I remember traveling and getting a full meal on American Airlines. That is no longer the case. They barely give pretzels and cookies and nuts and things like that. So for me and my son, food equals no meltdown or no hangry child. Uh, so it's important to bring the food along. With respect to drinks, there's many restaurants, many convenience places inside the airport where you can purchase drinks like water, juice. I wouldn't give them soda, but if that's your thing, soda. And take it with you on the airplane. Um, yeah. So, and also, okay, if you don't have an opportunity to pack anything, there's restaurants and places to pick up snacks in the airport before you get on the plane. So I would suggest arriving in the airport with more than enough time so that you can, do the check-in process. You can go through TSA. And then once you're on the other side that you're waiting for your plane, you're going to have a couple of hours to spare. You have a chance to go to the stores or to the restaurants and pick something up to eat. Yeah. Tip number 3. Make sure you bring your child's preferred toys along, be that stuffed animals, Legos, puzzles, anything that, that they can like. If you know that they like a certain type of toy, it's also good to bring something new that that they would like to keep them entertained for a few hours on the plane. Or even books. A lot of the kids that I know love to read books. So, taking a book or a coloring book on the airplane will save you a lot of headaches later on. So I call Aiden's backpack the magic backpack. So in there, I put all the things that he enjoys. If it's a tablet, that's okay too. Put the charger of the tablet inside the backpack and the tablet as well. The only thing when you're passing through security, if it's a laptop or a tablet, you have to take it out and put it in the tray with your things. I don't know what's the purpose of that, but they just want to know that it's actually a tablet or a laptop, I guess. I don't know. Tip number 4. Take chargers and electronics in your go bag. You don't know how important it is. There's been times that I've gone not far away, but like on a road trip and I forget the charger. And I have to end up buying a charger either wherever there's a convenience store, which always ends up being more expensive than actually getting the official charger from Apple or wherever. So yeah, definitely take your chargers and electronics. Make sure you charge the electronic before you leave to the airport or the bus station or the train station, because there's not always a guarantee that you're going to have working outlets. For example, this summer when we were going to Dominican Republic, we got stuck in the airport. There was a delay of about 3 hours, and Aiden's battery ran out, and we had to charge his iPad. None of the outlets in that terminal, well, in the gate where we were at, were working. And because of COVID, I didn't feel safe, going to another gate and charging there. So that external battery actually came in pretty clutch. It saved us. Not only that, but then if you're going to a foreign country, there's no guarantee that, there's going to be certain places that may be more rural than what you're used to here in the States. So having that external battery will definitely save your life. Number 5, take headphones or earplugs for your child. If they have if they get overstimulated auditorily, those headphones are going to be a lifesaver. There's a lot of noises that we don't perceive as typically developing adults that our children perceive. For example, fluorescent lights make a humming sound that we can't hear. I mean, you can hear if you're really close to it, but it might be intensified for our children that are overstimulated auditorily. What else? The airplane engine makes a noise. Could be scary for some kids, or it could just bother them. Just all kinds of noises. Getting some noise canceling headphones. These are Beats, but you don't have to spend a lot of money. They have quite a selection in, I think even Five Below has some. Or if your child doesn't like that, you can get earplugs. Earplugs will help a lot. Just for you, as a side note, remember that when you're talking to your child, it's very hard to hear when you're wearing the noise canceling headphones, because it literally just creates a cocoon, where they won't be able to hear the external noise, but they won't be able to hear you either. So definitely, using physical cues to get the attention of your child is important. I don't know. My son doesn't particularly like the headphones. He will prefer to do a hand helmet. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but when they kind of cover their ears and go like this. Or Aiden likes to do the one ear on the shoulder and cover his other ear with his hand, so he has a free hand to manipulate the iPad or the tablet. But definitely, paying close attention to things that could trigger your child will help a lot too. Like thinking about, going through like the trajectory from your house to the airport will help a whole lot. Just so like your child better than anybody else. So just knowing their triggers and kind of planning for that will help a lot on the trip. Okay. And an expert tip. You ready? In the airport, particularly, when they start boarding the airplane, that you're finally done waiting and you guys are getting ready to get on the airplane, there's a moment when, after they call first class, they ask for people with special needs or disabilities, I believe they say, people with disabilities to get on the line, to get on the airplane, to get, scan their boarding pass and board the airplane. I have started to get up when they say that and get on the line. Why do I do that? Our children have special needs. And not only that, but it reduces the wait time on the line. I don't know if your kids are like my kid. My kid, he can wait, but he gets very antsy after a while, online. It's good to practice being online too, because that's a life skill. You're not always going to be able to skip the line. But this is something you can definitely take advantage of. It just helps you all the way around. Basically, it reduces the wait time. It gives you time to get acclimated, for them to get used to their surroundings, because it's not like you're sitting in your living room. They can explore a little bit, see what's going on. You can get them settled and take out their toys or whatever it is that they're going to use on the plane, or have the backpack close by where the things are in reaching distance, an arm's distance, that you can just go ahead and reach down and grab it out. FYI, if you are stopped or side-eyed by an airline employee, what you're going to tell them is your child's diagnosis. And look them straight in the face. Not that you're going to have an attitude. Just let them know. And there should not be a problem at all. That actually happened to us when we were in Puerto Rico. When we were coming back to the States, we got up and the airline employee stopped us, and he was like, "Oh, I called the people that have special needs." And I was like, "Yes, I know. My son has autism." I didn't say it, in a bad way, because I have a very strong character. But definitely, he was very apologetic afterwards. And then he met us at the gate after he checked us in or whatever. And he was just telling us, like, he was apologizing to me and basically saying that his son has autism as well. And that it's good to see that I'm advocating for my son and all of that. So it just made like a kind of like a moment where you can connect with the person. So it was pretty nice. What else can help? Planning a visual schedule. Some of our kids are visual. I'm a visual person. I'd like to know where I'm going. So, day by day, if you can, Or if you can write it out somehow and show them, okay, this time we're gonna, but don't give them like, I wouldn't give them like specific times because you never know, things might happen, but just kind of like an overall rundown of what's gonna happen. We're gonna eat breakfast, then we're gonna go and do this, and we're gonna go and do that. We're gonna eat lunch at such and such place. Things like that, just to help them to calm the anxiety, because a lot of the time they get anxiety based on things that they can't control or things they don't know about. So it'll help get them more comfortable if they know exactly what's going on. I would suggest also watching videos about the place or seeing pictures. Google Earth is an amazing resource. So if you're going to a specific place and you have the address, you can literally type it into Google Earth and it'll zoom in and you can see where you'll be and you can show them, that'll be helpful. If you can watch videos from the place where you're visiting, that'd be cool too. Some kids love maps. I had students that absolutely love train maps, and they would feel comfortable when they're traveling because, you'd show them a map and you're like, okay, so we're going to take a trip today and we're going to start off here in this train station and we're going to switch at this train to such and such place. And then we're going to end our trip at this place. It's going to take about this amount of time. So that way they can, just kind of get their mind around what's going to happen. Like I said, waiting in line. Some parents like having a safety bracelet on their child. So, something with the name, maybe the diagnosis, and a phone number so they can call just in case, God forbid. What else? Reinforcers for good behavior. So, traveling is a lot for adults as well as children. So, having something that's really reinforcing, that's going to encourage good behavior, would be really cool. Also a sensory toy. So if your child does get overstimulated, you can give them a sensory toy so that they can help calm themselves down. All right. Next section. We're going to talk about what you do when you're on the plane. Remember to be sure to, sorry guys, I have notes just so I won't miss any of the tips. So give them movement breaks. Don't, even if if the fasten seatbelt light is on, as soon as it's off, make sure you get up with your kid, walk around the plane. Even if they want to go up and down the aisles a couple of times, it's good to get them moving. Let them use the bathroom too. It's an experience. Sometimes the airplane bathrooms or the bus bathrooms are not the cleanest, but it's, don't take away from their experiences. It's good to give them real world things. Like, things are not always going to be exactly how we want them to be. I like to sit my kid in the middle or the window seat, just because when he was little, he used to like run all over the place. So it gave me more of a control with what was going on. So I definitely encourage you, if you can, sit them in the window or the middle seat. That's pretty much it. And then, obviously feed them on the plane and give them things to drink. Another thing on the airplane. Expert tip number 2. Get them, if they tolerate something around their neck, one of those airplane pillows. It's so helpful because more often than not, Aiden will knock out while we're traveling. So, having that airline pillow, they can sleep, very comfortably, and they're just kind of like tilting their head to the side. So it's like their neck is not going to hurt when they wake up or anything like that. Get más on the airplane. Another thing, if your child likes to take off their shoes, let them. It's okay. If they're sitting on their seat, not a big deal. Just like, I know some kids have issues putting the things back on after they take them off, but reminding them that, it's just until we land. When we land, you have to put on your shoes or your socks or whatever else they want to take off. And then dressing them also in comfortable clothes. Like, I know sometimes, at least my mom, when I was a kid, would want to dress me up in this like fancy dress and shoes, and I'd just be overall very uncomfortable on the plane. But I would definitely suggest, if you can, like dress them in sweatpants or sweat shorts, and as comfortable as possible, because those airplane rides or bus rides or train rides, you tend to be very long and very uncomfortable. The goal is to make them as comfortable as possible. Okay, and now we're going to move on to the next section. After you arrive, all right? A lot of the tips go for this. So basically, show them pictures about where they'll be going. If you're going to do any excursions, if you can have them help you pick, that'd be nice too. Any excursions, show them photos, more or less where you will be. What else? Let me think. Again, watch videos, show them a map, especially if you're going to like a theme park like Disney World or something like that, or Hershey Park. Choose a meeting location. Remind them that they're going to be waiting in line as well. The meeting location is important because, God forbid, something happens, they know where to meet you. Or teaching them, my name is, if they're verbal, or if they're nonverbal, having them use whatever mode of communication they have to say, my name is such and such, my mom's name is XYZ, or my dad's name is XYZ, will be helpful. But, for the most part, I feel like, the kids are pretty good about staying with their parents. Again, communication is key. Talk to your child about the places you will visit in advance. If you're taking any road trips during the vacation, let them know the expectation of how long it will take to get there, and the places where you will stop at. Make sure that you schedule in those pit stops for them to take breaks. So for the big theme parks, I wanted to talk about, at least with Disney, they have a pass for people with cognitive disabilities. So they have like an office that handles all of that. So they give you a pass, and you can do things like a fast pass. Basically, it helps you skip the line. There's another service that they let you tag team out with a person from your party. So let's say you go on a ride and you have your child with you, you can switch out with another person from your party and they don't have to make the line, which is really nice. They also have pit stops for sensory breaks. Those pit stops are really helpful, especially when kids get overwhelmed. You have a little quiet space. I don't know how big they are because we haven't been to Disney yet, but it's in the plans. So from what I heard from other parents, they have a room that you can take your child, which is not far from the attractions, where it's quiet and they can take a break and kind of just relax. Those parks can be a lot. There's a lot of people, a lot of things going on, different smells, different noises. So besides it being really pretty and like very entertaining, it can be overwhelming. So it's nice to know that there's rooms where you can, take your child. And if you are going to Disney, I can give you the website to access that. And it's https:// disneyworld.disney.co.com/guest-services/cognitive disabilities services. So you can get all that information there. Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of the tips. Of course, when you pack for your child, the suitcase, take clothes that they're gonna feel comfortable in, and that make sure the shoes are, the right size and the right fit. And if you need to take anything like a weighted blanket, factor that into your suitcase. Bugs. If you're going to tropical islands, remember there are mosquitoes, and it is in your best interest to take repellent. Even if they, like, even if you, sometimes even if you put the mosquito repellent, they can get bit. I know Aiden is a type of kid that once he's bit, he'll keep scratching until he like gives himself a scab, which is not great. But I was able to buy this anti-itch cream that is for allergies. And the anti-itch cream is really helpful because it helps him stop scratching and just really soothes the skin. Also taking, what is that cream? Hydrocortisone is also helpful as well. Also, any kind of, if your kid sometimes gets sick from their tummy, taking whatever you give them at home, you can take with you. Just make sure when you pack it, put it in a Ziploc bag so that it doesn't spill everywhere. What else? I'm trying to think. Finding out if where you're going has AC. My guy is a winter baby, well, late fall. And he's not used to the heat. And there were some places that I visited when he was younger. We went back home to Dominican Republic to visit my family, and we went to the countryside, Pal Campo. And let me tell you something, there is no AC out there. There's barely a fan, and he was not used to that. So he was perfectly fine during the day. As night fell, it got warmer, and we tried to make him comfortable. We put the mosquito net, and when he sees this mosquito net and the heat, and that the heat was not subsiding, he proceeded to have a very big meltdown. Basically, we had to take him out of the bed, take him outside for a walk because it was actually cooler outside than it was inside, surprisingly. So we're walking with him. We're trying to help him calm down. He's like crying, telling us he wants to go home. Mind you, it's like super late already. It's like 9 o'clock. And we're from La Vega. So going from La Vega to the capital at that time, we wouldn't get home probably till like almost 11 o'clock at night. So that was not an option. So we're walking him around. One point, it occurs to us to shower him. So we get a bucket and give him a shower outside. That didn't help. Still crying. We're like dressing him and putting the repellent again. And finally, it occurs to us to put him in the car and turn on the AC. After about 30 minutes, mind you, we've been already dealing with it for like an hour. After about 15 to 30 minutes, he was out like a light and he was able to fall asleep there. So, yeah, once he fell asleep, we were able to get him in the room. But definitely study and research where you're going to. If there's constant electricity, one, if there's ACs or fans, two, just for the comfort of your child. Yeah, if had I done the research, because I had never really been out of when he was a baby, we had gone, but that was like the first time where he was like, verbal and was able to speak, that we went, and it was just really bananas that day. What else? Okay, another tip, research if you're gonna do any tourist attractions like monuments or anything like that, kind of look at the policy, and if you can call ahead and let them know you're going with a child that has special needs, if there's anything like a tour guide or anything like that that they can help you out with, that would be helpful. Another thing that happened to us was that we decided to go visit the First Church of America, La Basilica in Niue, which is it's in Niue, Dominican Republic, which is southeast, kind of close to Punta Cana, but not really. It's like a couple of hours away. So we decided to go there as a family. I'm inside the church with my son. I'm letting my mom do the pilgrimage because you have to go in and make a line, and you go up these stairs and you look at this beautiful painting of La Virgen de Altagracia, and then you go down the stairs and you exit the church. So I was waiting in the back for mom. Aiden was on his phone, on his iPod actually, and he scripts. And when he's excited, he gets very loud. So at one point, I don't know if he was not security, somebody that worked in the church came over to us and basically, told me that I needed to leave with my child. I was heartbroken and embarrassed at the same time. I wasn't where I'm at right now with respect to advocacy for my child. So I kind of just, gathered him up, let him know that we needed to go. And we started leaving the church. At the steps of the church, he has this meltdown, telling me that he wants to be inside. And I'm trying to explain to him that he's very loud and that they're not letting us be there. So he's like crying and like pulling away to like run inside the church. I'm trying to hold him and help him feel calm. I'm by myself because everybody's doing the pilgrimage. There was a humongous line, and I'm dealing with it. At that point, passerbys are coming, and they're looking at me in, true Dominican fashion. And I'm not talking smack about our culture, but a lot of people don't think before they speak. So they were basically telling me like, démelo a mí, que yo lo arreglo, yo le doy una pela al muchacho y se lo mando para atrás derechito. Or like basically saying, give your child to me, I'll take care of them, I'll whip them and I'll put them into shape and they'll behave perfectly fine afterwards. Basically saying like, I'm a crappy mom because my child is having a meltdown, and that they know better, that the rod is better than the word. So that was making me upset. And at one point I just lost it. Like once my family came back, I'm like bawling hysterical. Aiden's crying. I'm crying. My mom's like getting teary eyed. And then finally, my roommate, she's amazing, by the way. She's my bestie. She knows who she is. My roommate at the time, it occurs to her to tell Aiden that it is like a library and that he needs to be quiet to be able to go into the library. So that clicked for him because it's something he's familiar with, and he's associating certain behaviors for the church that relate to the library. So after she told him that, he got himself all the way together, wiped his tears from his eyes, went in super quiet. He actually did the pilgrimage. Like he went up to see the painting, looked at it, walked back down, and that was it. So had I done a little research, I would have known, and I would have prepared him a little bit better. But, shoulda, coulda, woulda. It was a learning experience at the time. So, this is something that happens. And I don't know about you guys, but there was a lot of meltdowns at the beginning. Now, not so much. Thank goodness. He's already 12. He's turning 13 in November. But Another thing that I wanted to talk about. If your child has a comfort toy, so that could be a plushie, it could be a blanket, like a security blanket. Let them take it with them. Um, you know, it's important. It'll help them feel comfort, and it'll help them, like, if they get upset, it'll help them calm down. Aiden had a little blankie. So side story, backstory for this. Um, my first purchase as an adult when I was 19 was a a quilt set for my bed, and so that was like when he was born. That was like 8 years old already. So after washing it, gets nice and soft. So Aiden loved this quilt. So much so he wanted to take the humongous full size quilt and like drag it everywhere. So what I did was cut it up, like had somebody cut it and sew it and make individual blankies just in case any of them got lost. So he took his blanket to Dominican Republic. It helped him out a lot to soothe and to self-soothe and just feel comfortable. But at one point we went to a resort. We went to Hard Rock in Punta Cana, which is humongous. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's like a country inside of a country. Huge. You can't go anywhere without a trolley. So we're on the trolley and we're headed to breakfast. And the trolley makes a stop to let somebody off. When Aiden sees the pool, he speeds off in the distance, running towards the pool. We're running after him. There's people there. We're like, help, stop him. He's running away. And nobody helps you, of course, because they think you're crazy. And he gets to the edge of the pool, and my heart is in my throat. I'm thinking he's going to jump in. So, I finally almost reach him, and instead of jumping in, he throws his blankie in the pool because he thinks that I wanted to go for a swim. Yeah, I almost died. It was just a really, just like very dramatic, crazy experience. So kind of like from that experience, I know to kind of, just kind of think like my kid. Sometimes it's hard, I know, but definitely think about things that they would kind of that would occur to them. So that was one thing. We were able to fish it out, and everything was fine afterwards. Another story while we were on vacation. We were at a villa in Samana. I think this was the same. No, this was the year after. We were at a villa in Samana, which is the northeast part of the country. Aiden was already taking swimming lessons. So he must have been, it was at the end of kindergarten, almost first grade. So he had taken swimming lessons, and he thought he knew how to swim. So whatever, I was in the pool with him. We were having fun. At one point, he gets out of the pool and starts running to the deep end of the pool. And all of us are freaking out. It was like my whole family was there. So we're like running after him. He gets to the edge before we're able to reach him. And I'm not a very good swimmer. So we think he's just going to cannonball into the pool. But he was able to lower himself down slowly and hold on to the edge of the pool till he got to the end. So that's another thing. If you can get your child swimming lessons, especially if they're on the spectrum, I would make that investment because it's been a lifesaver. Like, I don't leave him by himself in the pool, but knowing that he knows how to swim is a big relief for me. Oh, wait, that's another thing you should take. If your child does not know how to swim, even if they know how to swim, take some kind of flotation device. Either the little floaties for the arms or one of those lifesavers. Well, the donut that they can get in, and you feel comfortable if they're floating around using the little donut or the floaties to swim around. If you're going to do excursions where you're going to be in the ocean, definitely invest in getting a life vest that is that's your child's size. I didn't know that they came in, that they were like sized up. I knew there was like children and adults, but definitely taking into account your child's size and that it fits a certain way and closes all the way is important to, keep them safe. So that for real is the last of the tips. But I had a couple of questions from some listeners. So the first question was, how do you try to settle them in the new environment? So like I said, bringing things along that feel like home for them. So bringing a blankie, a plushie, toys, electronics. If you can, and you're going to spend a long time there, send a box with their favorite foods, or find an international supermarket there where you can get the products that they like or something very similar, and do a little food shopping and take things that they enjoy. If there's a specific pillow that they like, bring it along. What else can you do? I feel like a lot of the tips are applied to this. And another question they had was, do you have trouble having them eat? Sometimes there's restaurants that we attend that he might not want to eat the food, but trying to find that one thing on the menu that for sure they're going to like. Or if you can tell them, don't lie, but if there's something on the menu that they have not tried, but that they would like it, let them know that that food is similar to whatever it is that they love and have them try it. With respect to eating, kids need to try things at least 3 times before they decide whether they like it or they don't like it. So, don't force them to eat, because that can create trauma regarding food, but definitely, have them smell it first, then have them taste it with their tongue. And if they can, give them a little bite and then give them a reinforcer, like whatever it is that they like. If it's 5 minutes on the iPad, if it's music time or a dance break, anything that that's going to really encourage them to try it, do that. And that is it for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. Send me a DM on Instagram or email me at comadreando@escthenetwork.com. Follow me on IG if you aren't doing so already. The IG page for the podcast is Comadreando Pod. As always, thank you for spending time with your comadre, and I'll see you next time. The following episodes are going to be coming up. We're going to discuss IEPs. We're going to talk about early intervention. We're going to talk about resources, activities that you can do with your child. We're going to talk about dating. So please stay tuned. And if this podcast is of use to you, or if you know somebody that would enjoy or benefit from the information that I'm providing, please forward them the link and give them the recommendation. All right. I appreciate you all so much. Have a lovely rest of the week and take care. Bye.